give the floor to His Excellency, Mr. Ramadan Abdullah Muhammad Jouk, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of South Sudan.
Good afternoon, Mr.
This year's United Nations Security Council debate on African-led and development-focused counter-terrorism, strengthening African leadership, has brought sharper focus to real issues as discussions opened in New York. Support for African Union initiatives, sustainable funding, socio-economic development coordination, and legal frameworks to combating terrorism, financing, and organized crime have dominated the discussions. Minister Goj stresses South Sudan's commitment to collaboration in addressing poverty, unemployment, and inequality by strengthening education, infrastructure, and women's empowerment, crucial pillars for advancing counter-terrorism efforts.
Mr. President, members of the Council, a critical gap in Africa counter-terrorism efforts lay in sustainable and predictable funding. Issue of funding is very paramount in this. South Sudan call on this council to support mechanisms that ensure direct and reliable financial resources for African peace operation. This includes incorporating African-led mission into UN assessed contribution. Additionally, innovative financing mechanisms such as leveraging natural resource revenue, engaging international financial institutions, and fostering private sector contribution must be explored.
Minister Goy called for African nations to fully benefit from their independence and renewed the appeal to lifting sanctions to foster counter-terrorism efforts. Goy also calls for the international community joining President Salva Kiir Mayardit in condemning the killings of South Sudanese by Sudanese armed forces in Sudan.
Act of terrorism has been a story of South Sudanese during their struggle days, but last week we have seen a live act of terrorism by the inhuman killing of innocent South Sudanese in Sudan when the Sudanese army and their allied group took over Medani. South Sudanese were brutally killed, and we thank the African Union and the chairperson of East Africa Community, IGAD, for their condemnation of what happened to our people, and we call upon the Security Council to join us in our call for the investigation on the killing of our South Sudanese people in Sudan.
Yes, international financial institutions to devising innovative financial approaches to ensure the effective utilization of resources for development and to strengthen Africa's capacity to combating terrorism.
Africa does not need solution imposed from outside, but partnership that recognize and support our capability to solve our own challenges. Mr. President, members of the Council, a critical gap in
the discussions called on the Security Council to reinforce partnerships under Chapter 8 of the United Nations Charter, endorsing African-led peace operation guided by African expertise and local knowledge. South Sudan advances its calls to strengthen financial intelligence systems, enhancing border security frameworks, and promote regional cooperation with technical support from international partners. Reporting for SSBC News, Mathiang Joseph.
One that recognizes the unique challenges African states face and